Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we are going to be talking about Cosmos versus QNT. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I just want to ask you guys to please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate it. And if you do find any of the information in this video valuable, useful, or interesting in any sort of way possible, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on to never miss a future update. So let's just dive in real quick and talk, of course, about Cosmos and, QNT. I've talked to you guys about Quant a lot. Actually never did a breakdown on Cosmos. I did hold Cosmos a little bit ago. This is going back now. It has to be almost 2 years ago at least. I think I was buying this bad boy at around like $5 roughly. We can go back into the all-time and really kind of see where I was kind of scooping this up. So I know it was like around, I think it was like around this December time frame where I was buying this at about like $5. Sold way too early. Didn't even sell before I think like $10. I think it was like maybe like around this point here where I sold it. It was at like $8.50. I put it into like the graph I think at that time. Just better ROI potential there. But I do want to talk to you guys about these two completely different assets. I should mind you guys. I did a little bit of, I did some research on these two, and from what I found, these two are completely focused on different things, but similar, areas of expertise, if you will. So first, let's address the obvious, statistic here, which is, of course, what are these two focused on? Well, technically, Cosmos is not, I would say, an interoperability, layer. QNT or Quant is. We're going to be addressing this, breaking this down. Let's talk circulating supply. So Cosmos has a circulating supply of 286.3, almost 4 million. There is no total supply here. We do see, all time, this thing is, it is pretty high in terms of its price. I mean, it could go to $45, which is another $15 from here, but it doesn't really matter to me. ROI potential really is not a lot here. Holders tab was showing about 100 holders. I think I showed you guys this a little bit in yesterday's video on Quant. I thought that this was kind of confusing. You can see the total supply being held here. I don't know if this is accurate at all, but usually it is. But in terms of market cap versus QNTs with Cosmos, Cosmos is sitting at about currently almost $6 billion in market cap. I would say right now QNT definitely more undervalued. Circulating supply standard, yeah, I mean there's a lot less circulating supply of QNT. Again, similar, sort of charts here. This has come down and retested those lows. I would say that in terms of ROI potential, there's a lot more ROI here. Holders tab, a little bit more than 100. I don't know what is up with that. I think that might be a glitch. Don't know currently, but we do see that this number has been rising significantly each and every day. You can see the percentage held here. 21% is held by this top wallet, which is like about 9 point roughly 5 million, which I mean, this is like a little confusing. I just don't think that this is actually accurate. But of course, that's just my opinion. In terms of their interoperability layers, right? So let's actually get into the real juiciness of it, which is, of course, what are they focused on here? So Cosmos is technically an interoperability layer for blockchains specifically. We even see here the Cosmos network is a decentralized network of independent, scalable, and interoperable blockchains, creating the foundation for a new token economy. And of course, before the Cosmos network, blockchains were siloed and unable to communicate with each other. They were hard to build and could only handle a small number of transactions per second. Cosmos solved some of the hardest blockchain problems of scalability, usability, and interoperability. Now, overall, I'm not going to do a full tech breakdown, and I'm not going to go into every little detail here at all, because I just don't care to do something like that. I want to give you guys a little bit of a breakdown on how these two are extremely diverse, and why it doesn't hurt to hold both of them if you wanted to, for an example. Because honestly, when we are talking about Cosmos and when we are talking about QNT, think of Cosmos, the internet of blockchains, and then think of QNT or Quant as the internet of everything. And I say that because of the major connections which we will bridge in this video too. But of course, I've done breakdowns of Quant and what they are really kind of focused on. You guys can really kind of see what they are focused on here if you want to read more about them. I've always said that this is the network of networks because this is going to be the interoperability layer of everything. And the reason, the major differences here is just the connections that they've already built, which of course we will talk more about. Q&T does solve the interoperability between major blockchains, not all of them, but like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and even XRP are their top three, which of course at some point in time were the top three assets on, of course, the market cap rankings. But let's talk about the major differences here, which is written by Marcus Wardlaw on the Medium exchange here. This is going back to 2018. So first off, you can really kind of see here the standardization and implementation of TCP/IP created the solution of internetworking, in which multiple separate networks join into a network of networks. This is similar to, of course, what Quant is trying to do. And of course, the space for functional blockchain interoperability has ballooned, with companies popping up to be the blockchain networking solution provider. And this is exactly where we've seen a lot of those major companies come from. Hence, of course, Cosmos as well. Cosmos jumped out in this market at around 2019. This article, was posted at exactly the perfect time to really kind of see things like that. So here we have Quant Network. So let's break down a little bit of what Quant Network actually really is. So of course, their Overledger is their operating system. This is what is going to be sitting on top of those blockchains, as you guys do see down here. This is done with the absence of middleware and the need for comprising, current technologies, patent pending blockchain operating system, agnostic platform, cross-blockchain communication, connects to legacy networks and enterprise systems, open source, and creation of blockchain ISO standard, which is TC 307, which I've talked to you guys about. That gives it a huge competitive leg above any competitor in this market that is here for interoperability as well. But Q&T is focused on completely different interoperability layers. It's not just interoperability between blockchains, it's interoperability between everything. This is talking about legacy networks and enterprise systems to, of course, digital systems. Competitive standards, you can read more so about some of these, major competitors, but we are going to be focused on Cosmos. So here we have Cosmos. Hopes to build the Internet of Blockchains by utilizing blockchain hubs. These hubs are essentially live clients for blockchains. Cosmos hubs provide connectivity over multiple blockchains with a long-term goal of providing multiple hubs for blockchain interoperability. The creation of blockchain hubs can lead to the obfuscation. I'm hoping that I'm saying that right. Or wait, that's obfuscation. I am so sorry. It's 6 a.m. right now. I didn't even sleep. But obfuscation of blockchain networking, since each hub may facilitate different sets of blockchain communication. Currently, Cosmos, powered by Tendermint, a blockchain middleware that serves as an intermediary between blockchains. And this is the big downside to Cosmos right here. Powered by Tendermint. This is that middleware. If we guys come back up to Q&T, guess what? It doesn't need any middleware, because it already has the operating system there. But also, the Internet of Blockchains is focused on, of course, interconnecting blockchains specifically, creates blockchain hubs powered by Tendermint blockchain middleware, and requires Cosmos protocol compliant blockchains. So it has to be compliant to the Cosmos protocol as well. Again, all of this goes hand in hand with some downsides to, of course, that network. Q&T, in my opinion, is doing incredibly well here because when we are talking about Overledger and, when we are even talking about Quant in general, I really do believe it's going to be the future because of the direct connections and the team behind it. In fact, when we are seeing, with patent pending technology behind Overledger, their multifaceted approach to solving existing problems in blockchain and pre-existing problems in technology, Overledger has emerged as the premier interoperability technology ready to tackle these obstacles. Overledger's multi-chain applications are essentially dApps that seamlessly run the same business logic across different blockchain networks and protocols. Overledger is also pioneering treaty contracts, their solution for multi-chain smart contracts. And of course, when we are talking about Gilbert Verdian, yes, I do have him open up over here in this tab. Guys, this is a clear insight on who we are working with, essentially. So 500 plus connections. This is, of course, the CEO of Quant. You could read all about him. Security leader creating new technology in companies, ex-CISO, CIO, and CTO from governments and financial services with 20 years experience currently converging cybersecurity and blockchain. And of course, you can see all of his experience. He's a board member of the Digital Pound Foundation, which again is a direct connection with interoperability between the legacy networks and digital networks as well. He was working with, he was the founder of ISO standard TC307, sorry. He's the chair of DLT1 and UK standardization delegation at ISO TC307. And there's so much more, like, when we are talking about these individuals, like he was working for the Federal Reserve as well with Fed payments and all this kind of stuff. Like this is huge. I did a direct connection with Fed payments and XRP on this video or on this channel before. But I mean, like, look at his connections here to major banks. I mean, this is huge. I really want you all to understand just how big of a connection Gilbert Verdian is to all of these major companies. All right, and then when we are talking more so about Cosmos, like here you have it, right? Cosmos founding team broke up early this year. The project didn't though. All right, so the founding team disbanded, and the thing that was, I mean, in my opinion, like the thing that's weird about this is that when we are talking about a team that has, or a project that doesn't really have a team, like there's really no breakdown of the team on Cosmos right now because there really isn't, any team behind it. We look at the team behind Quant, right? And some of these major individuals, like for example, Gilbert Verdian is such a massive giant. There's so many other ones on here already, like Andrew Carrier and stuff like that. We've talked about these, but this massive team, I mean, like Rockefeller Capital, I mean, that's huge. Comcast Corporation as well. I mean, these are some major names within this area, and they're all focused on, of course, Quant because they do see the vision here. And the vision, okay, let's go back to this article here. So let's talk about some of the connections that Quant has already, that Quant has already grasped, I should say, or achieved, compared to, like, for example, Cosmos, right? Because Cosmos is, like I said, focused on more so blockchain. You could see their ecosystem. You could see, these are just the apps and projects built on here. But for the most part, right, there's not really major players on here yet. Okay? And when we are talking about the major players for Quant, we're looking at SIA for an example. This goes back to 2019. So SIA, all right, 570 banks. Okay? We do see it's a European leader in design, creation, and management of technology infrastructures and services for financial institutions, central banks, corporates, and the public sector in the areas of payments, cards, network services, and capital markets. Of course, they have these services in over 50 countries. You guys can see all about them. I mean, this is a very large connection as well to 570 plus banks, which we've talked about. And this is just from one. Okay? And when we are talking about SIA, it's hard to not mention, of course, Oracle. It's hard to not to mention all of the other players that are already signed on with, of course, Quant, which overshines any sort of partnership that, Cosmos could have. And I want you to all understand that I'm not trying to hate on Cosmos. Like, Cosmos is already focused on what they're trying to do, which is, of course, being the interoperability layer between blockchains specifically, okay? And Quant is trying to be the interoperability layer between not only blockchains, but everything. You could read that in their solutions. They're building solutions for the enterprise-grade areas. This is going to be having multi-DLTs, being the network for all DLTs in general. And sorry, I didn't mean to go back there. But yeah, this is going to be the connectivity between DLTs and the legacy platform, aka connecting the banking systems to digital systems. And that's why we do see Overledger for Bitcoin, Ripple, and even Ethereum. But also, they already have, solutions for DLTs in general for Oracle, for example. Oracle is huge. Corda, Hyperledger Fabric, Hyperledger Basu as well. Like, it already has the partnerships in place and it already has the technology in place to become the interoperability king. Cosmos, on the other hand, they're just focused on interoperability between blockchain technologies. So it's not like these are two competitive giants that are going after one another. Absolutely not. I just think in general when we are talking about Quant versus Cosmos, I would say from an overall technical standpoint, Quant all day has a much better ROI. I would say that in terms of its gateway API and its use case from Quant's side, it has a lot more money that it could move instead of just being a blockchain interoperability layer. This is an interoperability layer for the legacy platforms, for the banks, the major players out there in the financial institutional area. I mean, this is the king of interoperability between payments and payment infrastructures alike, but it also has connections to the Internet of Things and even healthcare. I just, from my standards, from all the information that I've been reading, and from what I've found, Quant and of course Cosmos are not in direct competition, and even if they were, QNT still kind of outshines it all in general, right? So pay attention to things like this. Make sure that you are doing your research because, guys, there's a lot of talks already around who is going to be the interoperability king. First off, there's a lot of money in this market for these major assets to eat at the same table. They do not need to be separated. They do not need to be singled out. Trust me, I think that they will all have major success in this market, especially if you are providing interoperability, because that is such an undervalued and overlooked use case in general. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join a free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.